Lucid, turn that shit up. Ring, ring, that's the plastic calling.
With your man, D-Money, Soulcentralmagazine, go global or stay local. I'm here with the iconic, with the legendary.
You got the camera on?
Camera's
on.
on.
Oh my God, you own it.
The camera's on.
Yes,
so,
gorilla style, I love it.
Yeah, so you just got off stage, high energy.
Yes.
You sung some old stuff, you touched on some new stuff.
Yes.
Pete, it's out. Let's go back real quick. We spoke a few days ago for a couple hours on the phone at length.
Yes.
We're talking about, well, first of all, let me commend you on all that you've done in the past, being a legendary woman in the hip-hop game.
Thank you.
And I know that hasn't been easy. I know there's been trials and tribulations, road bumps and mountains and everything else that you have to climb as a woman in the hip-hop business. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Just to the point, what being a woman entails when you're just moving through life and all the things that a woman has to deal with, and then of course on top of that, just working into a more male-dominated industry where males are mostly driven, and then you have to fight the other fights of females, the fight between the females, and of course being acknowledged and appreciated as well. So you get a well-balanced experience in it.
Thinking about acknowledgement and appreciation of things, one thing that I can appreciate is the fact that you took some time off from your music career to go back to school and tackle that endeavor. And I know it wasn't easy. You not only got your AA, your BA, but your MA. You want to talk about that real quick?
Absolutely. I did take a sacrifice. I just felt like I wanted to make sure I completed things that may have needed to come up or may have been needed to be used at one point. And as well as, be an example to women who are like myself, African American, or in environments where you're doubted because I was a young mom. So, people automatically think you're going to fail when you're a young mom. So just to be more well-rounded and stay connected to the movement that I was already in, as well as to politics, and position myself to deal with the politics. I went back to school and then found it necessary to complete at various levels my AA and liberal studies in business, and then a BA and bachelor's in psychology, and then a master's in organizational management and supply chain management. And it just basically well-rounded me in the areas that I was already dipping and dabbing in, just coming into the game as an executive, running a record label, and then of course getting into products and creating products and issuing them into the market. And then of course being a teacher and an educator, and then coming into a social entrepreneurship experience. So it made it work, and I enjoyed the opportunity, but it was definitely a sacrifice.
Sacrifice that paid off, because once you get that education and get that paper, can't nobody take it away from you.
That's real.
So I commend you from that.
Thank you.
Real quick, what was the golden age in hip hop? Like we were talking about, the hip hop that's out now, and we're talking about, lack of message. And I remember coming up, I listened to P.E., Public Enemy, talking about Fight the Power, Tupac's Brenda's Baby, Dear Mama, stuff like that, and it's like the music nowadays, to me, it doesn't have the message that it had back then. You want to elaborate on that?
The substance. Yeah, it's kind of different. It's funny you mentioned all those different types of talents that have come through and created opportunities and avenues that are, very necessary, would be necessary today, because the music seems to be a little more dumbed down, like it's only one message that everyone wants to promote. So, it seems to be the main message, and all the other real messages that can kind of stimulate and increase value and renew your mind in a more positive and more efficient way to make you more successful seems to be underrated. So that's kind of unique to have that experience, just as a woman that experienced that through the years and talked about that 30 years ago. It's like, okay, you do it when you're young, you have fun, but then you got to move on. But to see it regularly being inserted into the media is kind of unique, and I'm not sure how healthy that'll be for us all later.
Okay. Yeah, you were talking about putting out different things. I know that you're busy. I know that you have a lot going on. I know that you've given out a gang of scholarships to underprivileged kids. I know. I think there's a perfume line out. But you want to talk about the scholarships that you've given out, the joy that you fulfilled for the kids,
Sure.
that aspect?
Absolutely. So through the years, I've developed a way of just always connecting with the community for some reason. I grew up in a home and in a family of humanitarians. So my grandfather was a humanitarian, and that's what he did. He was, running rehabilitation centers, and our church wasn't just a church to come and clap your hands and sing, but it was actually he would get people out of prison and bring them to live in the church and rehabilitate them and put them in a position where they were re-entering in a healthy manner and giving them spiritual empowerment. So just having that background of seeing that, it just kind of was a part of me. And eventually, as a child, of course, I always like to fix people up. You take them in and fix them up because I was the only girl, in my family. And so I had all brothers, and I would take girls and comb their hair and make them pretty. And these were these elements that always was inside of me to nurture. So becoming a mother at a young age, a teen mom, and then later realizing that, rap and music wasn't the only part of life that you really have to experience, and not being afraid to showcase that. It made me always interested in working and helping people change their lives, build their lives, enhance their lives, and give them second chances. You know what I mean? So I work with all those different places, like anywhere from former foster youth to the re-entry community to the children who are looking to re-enter into the mainstream or to figure out a replacement opportunity, to welfare recipients, to at-risk youth, as well as at-risk adults and people who deserve a second chance. And it's been a way to help keep me sane because of my experience and my hardships, and always knowing that somewhere I could be needed, and it works hand in hand.
Okay, great. Well, I know I can definitely relate, from the aspect of coming from a penal system, the re-entry back in society. And in order for that to happen, you need to have, you need to have a support system.
Sure.
And, I have a cousin that's getting out next month. He's been gone for 10 years. And, I try to tell him what to expect, but it's hard to tell someone that's been gone for a whole decade how things have changed out here in society when you haven't been around anything going faster than 30 miles per hour.
Sure, yeah.
So it's real tough. So you have a empowerment network group that's going. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So I work in different elements of in the social world. I kind of look at it as my ministry, only because I know that we're here for a purpose, and it's not just one. A lot of times, it's you want us on one platform, and they want to box us in there and keep us there. But there are so many different places that we can share and give and change lives and enhance each other. And so the Professional United Sisterhood is one of the networks that I built. It's Push Her Network, and it's kind of like a female empowerment element. So we do different types of projects, social projects, different types of community projects, and different types of support for females who are in mostly male-driven industries. And then, of course, I have a Young Grandmothers Club. So the young grandmothers who there's a new era of grandmothers.
Yeah, there definitely is. A lot younger nowadays.
Right?
Yeah.
And me being one is like, I've lived a whole different life and a total different experience as a young grandmother. And having that experience, as well as being around others in the same era that has the same experience, it motivated me to create the Grandmothers United, which entails the Young Grandmother Club, and it brings young grandmothers and traditional age grandmothers together to try to bridge the gap, as well as bringing resources, empowerment, and unity in the grandmotherhood.
Okay. So your next or your current project, something that you have going on right now, is your 15 and 30.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay,
Yes,
so
you
that's
got it.
15 albums that you released in the last 30 years, which is quite an accomplishment.
Thank you.
I mean, just to be around for that long.
Sure, it's a blessing.
It is. So you want to touch upon that real quick?
Absolutely. So right now I decided to orchestrate a 15 album re-release of all genres of my music. to visit many different genres, only because I've been I forced myself to not just box myself into hip hop, but to enjoy all the elements.
Be versatile.
Absolutely. And so I have a rhythm and blues, a gospel, a fusion project that deals with rhythm and rap in a band presentation, as well as all the different areas from EDM to dance music to gospel music to, of course, my original hip hop. And I'm re-releasing all of them right now and celebrating my 30-year existence in the game. So there's different ways that it's presented in a tour, in a media presentation, as well as in the music that's being available for people to just really enjoy and celebrate all the parts of what someone like myself can bring, as well as enjoying opportunity for the fans who have followed me through the years and enjoyed what I had to offer and appreciated them.
Okay, well, it's definitely a pleasure to be able to interview you. Like I say, you're one of the pioneers in women's hip hop. You've been around, I ain't gonna say forever, but you've been in the game for quite some time, and you've had quite an impact and been, very influential. And I know, without you, the game wouldn't have been the same. So it's like each one teach one. I'm saying every generation needs to reach back to the prior generation and try to give them a little bit of game on this industry, because I know it's not an easy industry to get into, and there's so many pitfalls that comes with it. So you have to be prayed up, you have to stay up, you have to just be on top of things in this business. Now you want to talk about the business and what to watch out for, and say for the young indie artists that are coming out.
Sure. Well, I think the biggest thing right now is respect and appreciation. And it's interesting because this era of generations before us that have been around, I'm 30 years, but others have been longer. We were taught to respect the game, respect those that came before us, and our goal is never to say, oh, I'm going to take Patti LaBelle's place, or I'm going to take Tina Marie's place, and I'm going to slap up Shaka Khan and push her to the side, and I'm going to be the number one. I think that's the most terriblest mindset that right now we have in the industry. And there's instigation, I feel, from different sources like media and possibly even younger media, officials, people who come in the game and they haven't experienced what we have that's been around. And there's somewhere where I think we've dropped the ball, where we're always saying, put it in the youngster's hand, put it in the youngster's hand. Talk to the youngsters, let them figure it out. I think that we have to find a balance. So with that balance, younger artists should always respect and appreciate those who have come before you. You cannot knock us out the box. I will not lay down, ever. Okay? I will be 100 years old, standing up, smashing. What I mean?
That's right.
You might be able to slip in sometime when I'm working on some other things, because some of us are more multifaceted. We don't just sit on stage. We actually have other gifts and other things to do, like
talent.
You know what I mean, to use.
And so
so I hate to be so direct and just smash Shadocious, but the bottom line is stop thinking that way. That's not the right way, and I've done nothing but run across a lot of people like that, and seeing it not towards me, because when I show up, I'm smashing, so you can't put me down. You know what I mean? I keep my knees bent just to make sure that you're clear, and those that are out there are very clear when they underestimate us that may not be as visible as we have in the past. So that's my number one advice, because you got to respect the game. It's a street code, you know what I mean? And of course, it's like putting your grandmother out of work. Look at your grandmother. Do you want to put your grandmother out of work? That's not the right way to think. We have to renew the mindset, okay? We start there. That's number one. 2, make sure it's your calling, because it might not be your calling. You might can do something well, but that doesn't mean that is what you're supposed to do to make your life, to be the way that you live and position an opportunity, your financial success. It may just be something you can do. I mean, obviously, anybody can rap, sing, dance, or act. All you gotta do is practice it. Practice makes perfect. That's what my mom always told me. So don't just assume that that's your calling just because it's there. I'd like for people to be more authentic. You know what I mean? Be more organic. Show up, learn the system, be willing to work hard, put into the system, help and add to others who are in the system and develop a relationship in a way to even get experience and see if that's what you want to do. Also be educated, because knowledge is power. Look at other opportunities that are out there for you that you might not pay attention to, that might make you as successful, if not more successful with peace than you could ever imagine. So don't just stop at one thing, you know what I mean? Don't just because you have an artistic opportunity or you're creative that, you know, you just want to only get on stage in front of people. There's always a price you got to pay, and you got to be prepared for that. So at the end of the day, if you can find other opportunities and options that are out there that can give you the success, the consistency, and the healthy life that comes behind the scene, besides just things that are behind music or entertainment or sitting in front of the camera, you know, be open, you know, for other opportunities. And that's just the first place, you know, in general.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to put it in one nutshell, but hey.
No, you knocked it out the ballpark, as they say. So let me ask you this question: how is your brother, E40, aka 40 Water? How's he doing?
He's doing great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and the clique is doing great. My brother D-Shot, we just released a new movie. It's called Don't Get Caught. My brother D-Shot just produced it. It's hot. He produced the Obstacles movie quite a while ago, and now he's actually produced the Don't Get Caught movie. And Beloved, you can find it on Amazon, in Best Buys, in Walmart, and it's doing very well. I'm acting in it, and all of us have a part along with others like Brian Hook, Snoop Dogg, Lunel, and so many others. It's a really nice movie about the cannabis and marijuana. It's like a scary comedy.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, I have a book. It's called Boss Up. You can find it on Amazon. So it's called Boss Up. It's an entrepreneurship empowerment book, how to replace barriers, how to make more money and explore entrepreneurship. My new Queen of the West album is out. You can definitely go get it. It's called Queen of the West, and it's on all the digital platforms. And there's some new technology that I'm releasing coming up soon that you'll learn about. So I encourage you to sign up and subscribe to Suga T Official, my YouTube channel. And of course, stay connected to me with Instagram at Suga-T, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And there's so much more to come, you know.
You heard it right there. Suga T, Queen of the West. If you ain't copped it, you better go out and get it. This is your man D Money coming live from Las Vegas in full effect with the legendary Suga T. Just came off stage, just finished his concert.
Yes.
It's been a night to remember. I appreciate you, sister.
Thank you.
I honor you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.
May
God
you
bless
have many
Soul
more
Central
years.
Magazine. Thank you for continuing to support us. Thank you for coming out to support me.
Once again, this is your man D Money, Soul Central Magazine.
Hey, Lucid, turn that shit. Ring, ring, that's the plastic. Calling, 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 calling. Ring, ring, that's the plastic. Calling, 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 calling. Ring, ring, that's the plastic. Calling, 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 calling. Ring, ring, that's the plastic. Calling.